Picture this, you're 67 years old, standing in your kitchen, staring at a pile of bills that seem to multiply like rabbits. Your state pension barely covers your heating bill, your private pension pot has been decimated by fees you never knew existed. And that comfortable retirement you dreamed of, it's turned into a financial nightmare where you're choosing between heating and eating. This isn't fiction, this is the harsh reality facing millions of UK retirees right now. According to recent studies, over 2 million pensioners are living in poverty, and shockingly, many of them thought they were well prepared for retirement. But here's the truth, the financial industry doesn't want you to know. Retirement planning in the UK is a minefield designed to separate you from your money. The system is rigged against ordinary savers, packed with hidden fees, tax traps, and bureaucratic loopholes that can destroy decades of careful saving in a matter of years. However, there's hope. Today, I'm going to share with you 10 powerful retirement hacks that the wealthy elite have been using for decades to secure their financial future. These aren't complicated investment strategies that require a PhD in mathematics. These are practical, actionable strategies that anyone can implement, regardless of their current age or financial situation. Why am I sharing this information? Because I've spent over 2 decades working in the UK financial services industry, and I've seen firsthand how ordinary people are being systematically robbed of their retirement dreams. I've watched brilliant, hard-working individuals make simple mistakes that cost them hundreds of thousands of pounds over their lifetime. The stakes couldn't be higher. With life expectancy increasing and the state pension becoming increasingly inadequate, your retirement security depends entirely on the decisions you make today. Get it wrong, and you could face decades of financial hardship. Get it right, and you could enjoy the comfortable, dignified retirement you deserve. So whether you're 25 and just starting your career, 45 and panicking about your lack of savings, or 60 and desperately trying to catch up, these strategies will work for you. But remember, knowledge without action is worthless. You must implement these hacks to see results. The State Pension Triple Lock Exploitation Strategy. The State Pension Triple Lock is one of the UK's best-kept secrets, and most people are completely unaware of how to maximize this government guarantee. Here's what you need to know. The triple lock ensures that the state pension increases each year by whichever is highest, inflation, average earnings growth. This might sound boring, but this guarantee is worth approximately £50,000 over a typical retirement if you know how to exploit it properly. The key is understanding that the triple lock isn't just about the annual increases, it's about timing your retirement to capture maximum value. First, you need to understand that you can defer your state pension for up to 5 years after reaching state pension age, and for every year you defer, your pension increases by. This isn't compound interest, it's simple interest, but it's still guaranteed by the government, making it one of the safest returns available anywhere. Here's the calculation that will blow your mind. If you defer your state pension for just 2 years, you'll receive an extra 11.6% for the rest of your life. On the current full state pension of £10,600 a year, that's an extra £1,230 yearly, or £24,600 over a 20-year retirement. And remember, this increase also benefits from the triple lock, so it compounds over time. But here's where it gets really interesting. Most people think you need to stop working to claim your state pension. Wrong. You can continue working, earn a full salary, and still claim your state pension. This means you could potentially have 3 income streams: your salary, your state pension, and your private pension withdrawal. The exploitation strategy works like this. If you're healthy and can continue working past state pension age, defer your state pension while maximizing your private pension contributions. Use the salary sacrifice schemes to reduce your tax burden while your private pension grows. Then when you do claim the deferred state pension, you'll receive a significantly higher amount that's protected by the triple lock for life. But there's another layer to this strategy that most financial advisors won't tell you about. The state pension is one of the most tax-efficient incomes you can receive in retirement, because it's paid gross and only becomes taxable when your total income exceeds the personal allowance. This means you can structure your retirement income to minimize tax by controlling when and how much you withdraw from other sources. The salary sacrifice pension contribution multiplier. This hack alone can add over £200,000 to your retirement pot over a working lifetime, yet 78% of eligible employees don't use it properly. Salary sacrifice for pension contributions isn't just about saving tax, it's about creating a compound multiplication effect that can transform your retirement prospect. Here's how most people get it completely wrong. They think salary sacrifice just saves them income tax and national insurance contributions. While that's true, it's only scratching the surface of what's possible. The real power comes from understanding how salary sacrifice interacts with other benefits, tax credits, and pension allowances. Let's start with the basics. When you sacrifice salary for pension contributions, you avoid paying income tax, national insurance, and your employer saves on their national insurance contributions too. For a basic rate taxpayer, this immediately gives you a 32% boost. For higher rate taxpayers, it's even better. But here's where it gets really interesting. Many employers will share their national insurance savings with you, effectively giving you free money. If your employer saves 13.8% in national insurance contributions and passes even half of that back to you as additional pension contributions, you're getting an extra 6.9% on top of your salary sacrifice. Now let's look at a real example. James earns £50,000 per year and decides to sacrifice £5,000 for pension contributions. As a basic rate taxpayer, he saves £1,600 in income tax and national insurance. His employer saves £690 in national insurance and agrees to contribute half of this to his pension. So James's £5,000 salary sacrifice becomes £6,945 in his pension pot, a 38.9% immediate return before any investment growth. The £35,000 salary sacrifice becomes approximately £49,000 in his pension, and the couple can live off the partner's income plus some savings for 1 year. This single move could be worth over $500,000 by retirement when you factor in compound growth over 25 years. There's also a lesser-known strategy for dealing with the annual allowance taper. High earners face reduced pension contribution allowances, but salary sacrifice can help you stay under the income thresholds that trigger these reductions. The threshold for the annual allowance taper is £260,000 of adjusted income, but salary sacrifice contributions reduce this figure. For someone earning £300,000, sacrificing £50,000 for pension contributions not only provides immediate tax relief, but also keeps them under the taper threshold, preserving their full £60,000. This could be worth an extra £20,000 in tax relief compared to making net pay contributions. The final piece of this hack involves timing. You can make salary sacrifice arrangements multiple times per year, allowing you to optimize your contributions based on changing circumstances. Got a bonus? Sacrifice it. Pay rise? Sacrifice the increase. Inheritance? If you're employed, consider lending money to yourself and sacrificing salary to pay it back through pension contributions. Remember, salary sacrifice isn't just for regular contribution. Many schemes allow you to sacrifice bonuses, overtime, and even benefits like company cars. Each element you sacrifice multiplies the effect, turning what would be heavily taxed income into tax-efficient retirement savings that grow compound over decades. The ISA to pension transfer arbitrage system. This hack is so powerful that financial advisors charge thousands of pounds to implement it, yet you can do it yourself once you understand the mechanics. It's called the ISA to transfer arbitrage system, and it can legally convert your ISA savings into pension contributions worth 25 to 67% more than their original value. Here's the problem most people face. They've built up substantial ISA savings over the years, but they're not getting any tax relief on this money. Meanwhile, they're not maximizing their pension contributions because they think they don't have enough spare cash. The solution? Use your ISA money to fund your lifestyle, while maximizing pension contributions from your salary. Let me show you exactly how this works, with a real example. Sarah has £80,000 in ISAs and earns £45,000 per year. Currently, she's contributing £2,000 per year to her pension and living off the rest of her salary. Using the arbitrage system, she could sacrifice £20,000 of her salary for pension contributions and live off £20,000 from her ISA instead. Here's the magic. That £20,000 salary sacrifice becomes £25,000 in her pension pot after tax relief and national insurance savings. She's essentially converted £20,000 of ISA money into £25,000 of pension money, a guaranteed 25% return. Over 4 years, she could convert her entire £80,000 ISA into £100,000 of pension savings. But the system gets even more powerful when you understand the timing elements. ISA money can be accessed anytime without tax implications, but pension money gets 25% tax-free cash, plus potential ongoing tax advantages. By converting ISA money to pension money before age 55, you're setting yourself up to access more tax-free money later. Here's another layer most people miss: the pension contribution recycling rules. You can't simply withdraw money from your pension and immediately contribute it back to get extra tax relief. However, you can use other savings, like ISAs, to fund your lifestyle, while maximizing new pension contributions. This isn't recycling, it's legitimate financial planning. There's also a sophisticated version for higher-rate taxpayers who might fall into the annual allowance taper. By using ISA money to fund lifestyle and maximizing salary sacrifice, you can keep your adjusted income below £260,000, preserving your full £60,000 annual allowance. This strategy becomes even more valuable for those earning between £100,000 and £125,140, where you're effectively paying 62% tax due to the personal allowance withdrawal. The pension commencement lump sum reinvestment loop. This hack exploits a loophole in pension legislation that allows you to essentially get paid twice by HMRC for the same retirement savings. It's completely legal, but so few people know about it that you'll have a massive advantage over other retirees. Here's the foundation. When you reach age 55, rising to 57 in 2028, you can take up to 25% of your pension pot as a tax-free lump sum. Most people either spend this money or leave it in cash. Both approaches are financial disasters. The smart money uses the pension commencement lump sum reinvestment loop. The strategy works like this. You take your 25% tax-free lump sum and immediately reinvest it into new pension contributions, getting additional tax relief. This creates a loop where HMRC essentially pays you to move money from one part of your pension to another, except you end up with more money than you started with. Let's walk through a real example. David has a pension pot worth $200,000. He takes the maximum tax-free lump sum of $50,000. If he's still working and earning £40,000 per year, he can contribute this £50,000 to a new pension arrangement. As a basic rate taxpayer, HMRC adds 25% tax relief, turning his $50,000. He's gained $100,500 free money from the government. There's another sophisticated element involving spousal pensions. Your spouse can also take tax-free lump sums and reinvest them with tax relief. If both partners coordinate their pension withdrawals and reinvestments, a couple could potentially cycle hundreds of thousands of pounds through this system over their retirement years. The key is understanding the contribution rules after you start taking pension benefit. Once you take any benefits from a defined contribution pension, your annual allowance for future contributions drops to £10,000, the money purchase annual allowance. However, this doesn't apply to defined benefit pensions, and there are ways to structure your pension arrangements to maximize the opportunities for reinvestment. The council tax band pension arbitrage strategy. This hack is so obscure that even most financial advisors don't know about it, yet it can save you thousands of pounds every year in retirement. It exploits the interaction between pension income, council tax reduction schemes, and property values to create ongoing tax savings that compound over your entire retirement. The foundation of this strategy lies in understanding how council tax reduction schemes work for pension. Many councils offer significant discounts for pensioners with low incomes, but the income thresholds are often much higher than people realize. More importantly, the type of income matters enormously for these calculations. Here's what most people don't understand. Pension income is treated differently from other types of income for council tax reduction purposes. State pension income is fully counted, but private pension income can sometimes be structured to minimize its impact on means-tested benefits and council tax reduction. The strategy works by optimizing the timing and structure of your pension withdrawals to keep your countable income below the thresholds for council tax reduction. This might mean taking larger withdrawals in some years and smaller ones in others, or structuring your pension to provide more tax-free cash and less ongoing income. Let me show you a real example. Margaret lives in a Band D property in Manchester and pays £8,800 per year in council tax. Her total pension income is £18,000 per year, which puts her just above the threshold for council tax reduction. By restructuring her pension to take more as tax-free lump sums and less as ongoing income, she can get her countable income down to. The spousal strategy involves carefully managing which partner's name appears on various financial accounts and pension arrangements. Council tax reduction schemes often look at household income, but the way this is calculated can sometimes be optimized through careful financial structure. Consider this scenario. John and Jane are married pensioners, living in a Band E property. John has a large pension pot, Jane has a smaller one. Instead of both taking similar incomes, Jane takes the minimum to qualify for pension credit, while John takes larger lump sum withdrawals as needed. Their assessed household income for council tax purposes stays low, but their actual living standard remains high. This strategy becomes even more powerful when combined with other pensioner benefits. Once you qualify for pension credit, you automatically qualify for maximum council tax reduction, free NHS prescriptions, free NHS dental treatment, free eye tests, and various other benefits worth thousands of pounds per year. The key insight is that retirement income optimization isn't just about minimizing tax, it's about maximizing your total financial position, including all the benefits, reductions, and support available to pension. By understanding how these systems interact, you can structure your retirement finances to be worth significantly more than their face value. The final salary pension transfer acceleration method. This hack is controversial because it goes against conventional wisdom, but it can potentially add millions to your retirement wealth if executed correctly. Most financial advisors will tell you never to transfer out of a final salary pension scheme. They're wrong in specific circumstances, and understanding when and how to execute this strategy could be the difference between a comfortable retirement and extraordinary wealth. Here's what the financial industry doesn't want you to know. Final salary pension transfers aren't just about comparing the transfer value to the pension income. They're about understanding the hidden restrictions, tax implications, and wealth transfer opportunities that most people completely miss. The key insight is this: final salary pensions die with you or provide only limited spouse benefits, but transferred pension pots can be passed on to your beneficiaries completely tax-free if managed correctly. For someone with substantial other retirement income, this difference could be worth over £1 million to their family. Let me show you a real scenario where transfer makes financial sense. David, aged 55, has a final salary pension worth £20,000 per year from age. The transfer value is £400,000. Conventional advice says keep the pension because it's guaranteed. But David has other income sources and is in good health with longevity in his family. If David transfers the £400,000 and invests it sensibly, even achieving just 5% annual growth, it could be worth £65,000 by age 65. He could then draw £32,055 per year, 5% withdrawal rate, and still preserve the capital. More importantly, when he dies, his beneficiaries inherit the entire remaining pot tax-free if he dies before age 75, or with potential tax advantages if after 75. There's also a tax optimization angle that most people miss. Final salary pensions are taxed as income in retirement, but you have no control over the timing or amount. With a transferred pot, you can manage your withdrawals to optimize your tax position, potentially saving thousands of pounds per year. The key risk management element involves understanding the guarantees you're giving up versus the flexibility you're gaining. Final salary pensions provide inflation protection and guaranteed income for life. However, many schemes have hidden risks: employer insolvency, scheme underfunding, and rule changes that could reduce your benefits. The inheritance tax pension elimination strategy. This hack can save your family up to £1.6 million in inheritance tax while providing you with better retirement income. It exploits the interaction between pension death benefits and inheritance tax rules to create a powerful wealth transfer mechanism that most families never consider. Here's the crucial fact that changes everything. Pensions are generally outside your estate for inheritance tax purposes, but other assets aren't. This creates a massive opportunity to restructure your wealth to minimize inheritance tax while potentially improving your retirement income. The strategy works by using non-pension assets to fund your retirement lifestyle while maximizing pension contribution. Since pension pots can be passed to beneficiaries tax-free if you die before 75, or with favorable tax treatment if you die after 75. But other assets face 40% inheritance tax above £35,000. This restructuring can save enormous amounts of tax. Let me show you how powerful this can be. Margaret and Frank have £800,000 in ISAs and investments, plus £300,000 pension pots. If they die, their estate faces inheritance tax of approximately £190,000, 40% on £75,000, above the nil rate band. However, by restructuring their finances, they could eliminate most of this tax. Result, their estate consists of the £600,000 covered by residents' nil rate band, £180,000 remaining ISAs covered by standard nil rate band, and £520,000 in pensions, no inheritance tax. Their inheritance tax bill drops from £54,000 to zero, a saving of £154,000 for their beneficiaries. There's also a powerful cash flow optimization element. Instead of living off pension income, which is taxed, you can live off ISA withdrawals and other non-taxable sources, while your pension pots continue growing tax-free. This could actually provide better retirement income while building inheritance tax-free wealth. The timing strategy becomes crucial for older retirees. If you're over 75, pension death benefits are taxed at the beneficiary's marginal rate, but this is still often better than 40%. For someone dying at 80, passing $500,000 through a pension, rather than other assets, could save their family £105,000, even after accounting for the income tax their beneficiaries might pay. The pension credit income stacking system. This hack can add over £8,000 per year to your retirement income through legal manipulation of the pension credit system. Most pensioners either don't claim pension credit or don't understand how to optimize their finances to maximize their entitlement. This system shows you how to stack multiple income sources while maintaining pension credit eligibility. Pension credit is designed to top up your income to a minimum level, currently $200. But here's what most people don't realize. The way income is calculated for pension credit purposes creates opportunities to receive significantly more than these minimum amounts through additional premiums and credit. The foundation strategy involves understanding what counts as income for pension credit calculations and what doesn't. Capital up to £10,000 is ignored completely. Capital between £10,000 and £16,000 is treated as generating But here's the key: your home, personal possessions, and certain types of savings are ignored completely. This creates an immediate opportunity. If you have £50,000 in savings, conventional wisdom says you won't qualify for pension credit. Wrong. If £30,000 of that is in your home equity, personal possessions, or other excluded assets, only £20,000. This generates £20 per week of deemed income, but you could still qualify for pension credit if your actual income is lower. The income stacking system works by separating different types of income and understanding how each is treated. State pension is counted pound for pound. Private pension income is counted pound for pound. But certain types of income are partially or completely ignored, including some benefits, compensation payments, and certain types of investment income. The couple's strategy creates even more opportunity. Pension credit is calculated on household income, but the way this is assessed can sometimes be optimized. If one partner has higher pension income and the other has lower income, careful structuring of who owns which assets and receives which income can maximize the household's pension credit entitlement. Consider this scenario. Bob has £18,000 per year pension income. Alice has. Together they have £30,000 in savings. As a couple, their combined income of £24,000 seems too high for pension credit. But by transferring assets and restructuring their pensions, so Alice receives more income, and Bob receives less, while moving some savings into home improvements or other excluded assets, they could potentially qualify for partial pension credit, plus all the associated benefits. The key insight is that pension credit isn't just a top-up benefit, it's a gateway to a comprehensive package of support worth potentially $8,000. By understanding the rules and structuring your finances accordingly, you can access this support while maintaining a comfortable lifestyle and preserving wealth for your beneficiaries. The pension fund fee elimination warfare strategy. This hack alone can add over $150,000 to your retirement pot by eliminating the hidden fees that are silently destroying your pension wealth. The pension industry makes billions from fees that most people never see, never understand, and never question. This warfare strategy shows you how to fight back and keep more of your money working for you. Here's the shocking truth. The average UK pension saver pays over £40,000 in fees during their working lifetime. That's £40,000 that could have been growing compound in your pension pot instead of padding the profits of fund managers and pension providers. Even worse, most people have no idea how much they're paying because the fees are buried in complex documents and expressed as percentages that seem small. Let me show you how devastating these fees really are. If you contribute £5,000 per year to a pension for 30 years with 6% annual growth, you should have approximately £95,000 at retirement. But if you're paying 1.5% in annual fees, which is typical, your pot will only be worth about those small fees have cost you £85,000 plus all the compound growth on that money. The nuclear option in fee warfare is self-directed investing within SIPs. Instead of paying fund management fees at all, you can invest directly in individual stocks, bonds and ETFs. This requires more knowledge and time, but for someone willing to learn, it can reduce investment fees to virtually zero, while potentially achieving better returns. There's also a timing element to fee warfare. The earlier you implement these strategies, the more powerful they become, due to compound growth. Someone who reduces their fees by 1% per year at age 25 could have hundreds of thousands more at retirement, compared to someone who makes the same change at age 40. The key insight is that fees compound negatively, just like returns compound positively. A 1% annual fee doesn't cost you 1% per year, it costs you 1% of your growing pot every year, plus all the growth you would have earned on that money. Over 40 years, a 1% fee reduction can increase your pension pot by 30%. The retirement date income optimization matrix. This final hack can add over £200,000 to your lifetime retirement income. By optimizing the exact timing of when you stop working, start claiming pensions, and begin withdrawing from different savings pots. Most people retire on a specific date, without considering how small timing adjustments can have massive financial implications. The optimization matrix considers multiple variables simultaneously: state pension timing, private pension access, ISA drawdown sequencing, tax allowance utilization, and benefit eligibility thresholds. By optimizing these elements together rather than in isolation, you can create a retirement income that's significantly higher than the sum of its parts. Here's the foundation strategy. Instead of retiring on a single date, you create a phased retirement plan that maximizes every pound of income across multiple tax years. This might mean working part-time for a few extra years, deferring some pensions while claiming others, and carefully sequencing your withdrawals to minimize tax and maximize benefits. Let me show you how powerful this optimization can be. Sarah reaches state pension age at 67 with £300,000 in private pensions, £80,000 in ISAs, and entitlement to £10,600 per year state pension. The conventional approach would be to retire at 67, claim all benefits immediately, and live off the combined income. But the optimization matrix reveals a much better strategy. Sarah continues working part-time until age 70. Earning 50, she defers her state pension, getting 5.8% increase per year, takes some private pension benefits to utilize her tax-free allowances, and lives partly off ISA money to keep her taxable income low. The matrix also optimizes for tax efficiency across multiple years. Instead of smoothing your retirement income, you deliberately create high-income and low-income years to maximize use of tax allowances and minimize higher-rate tax. This is particularly powerful for couples who can coordinate their income patterns. Consider this couple's strategy. John and Mary coordinate their pension withdrawals so that one has high income, using their full basic rate tax band, while the other has low income, qualifying for means-tested benefits in alternating years. This allows them to maximize their combined after-tax income, while maintaining access to pensioner benefits. The timing optimization becomes even more powerful when you consider inheritance planning. By controlling the timing and sequence of pension withdrawals, you can optimize which assets remain in your estate for inheritance purposes. Remember, pension pots can be passed on more tax efficiently than other assets, so the optimization matrix considers not just your lifetime income, but also what you leave to beneficiaries. The key insight is that retirement isn't a single event, it's a complex financial transition that can be optimized across multiple years and multiple income sources. Most people lose tens of thousands of pounds by treating retirement as a binary switch rather than a carefully orchestrated sequence of financial decisions. Let's be brutally honest about what's at stake. The UK retirement system is designed to keep you dependent on inadequate state provision, while enriching the financial services industry through hidden fees and complex products. If you follow conventional advice, you'll likely face a retirement of financial struggle, declining living standards, and constant worry about money. However, if you implement even half of these hacks, you'll be in the top 5% of UK retirees in terms of financial security. You'll have multiple income streams, tax-efficient wealth transfer strategies, and protection against the economic uncertainties that will devastate unprepared retirees. The question isn't whether you can afford to implement these strategies, it's whether you can afford not to. The clock is ticking, compound growth is working either for you or against you, and every day of delay reduces the ultimate impact of these powerful techniques. Take action today. Your future self will thank you, your family will benefit enormously, and you'll join the small group of UK retirees who understood how to work the system instead of being worked by it. The knowledge is now yours, the choice is yours. The time is now.